Okay, let's see if this will work. I just kind of got set up. I haven't done a video in a couple of days. Lots of reasons. I won't go into it. Throat's a little dry. Gonna hydrate for a second. Pardon me. That's better. Okay. I just have been reading this guy still, and I'm also reading Course in Miracles. There's two things I wanted to share today. So this is like, my hair is like being insane today. It's like I did 15 things with it. I just said, fine, have your way. My hair has a mind of its own. Anyway, so I'm just going to touch on some of the stuff here in the Gospel of Thomas. I mean, I don't know how far I'll get today because there's so much in this book. And like I told you, I'm the wild, crazy notes woman. So, anyways. Okay, the first thing that kind of struck me as odd is right here in the beginning. I probably should put my glasses on so I can see. I don't really want to wear my glasses, but because now I can't see you, but I can see my book. So, no, I think this is more important to see you. So, and I keep not looking at the camera today. I'm not sure what's wrong with me. Maybe because my camera's like in a weird place. Let me see if I can move it. Maybe that'll help. Yeah, we're a production in progress here. Maybe? I don't know. I don't know if that's going to help at all. But anyway, so it does say Thomas the twin, which, if you take that literally, it means that Jesus actually had a twin, which I've never heard that before. I've never heard anything about a delivery of another baby, anything like that. I'm thinking that Thomas was a lot like Yeshua, is what I'm thinking maybe. He had like a likeness to him. And that's kind of what my thoughts were on that. But anyway. All right. Let me see what jumped out at me here. I loved this one because I've been going through some struggles myself just recently, and I'm just going to kind of be cherry picking, so I highly suggest that you read this whole thing yourself because I'm not going to read everything. But it said, let one who seeks not stop seeking, and this is Yeshua speaking. And it says, when one is troubled, one will marvel, and when one marvels, one will reign over it. I can't talk today for whatever reason. But anyways, reign over it all. So that was really encouraging to me because I don't know about you, but the stuff we learn every day. I just watched another video from Naughty Beaver this morning and just still processing the things that he proposed. So being troubled is a good thing because it begins the process. And once you get to the end of the process, it says right here, right out of Yeshua's mouth, that you will reign over all, which is wonderful. Another thing that really spoke out to me, it says, know yourselves and be known. And when you know yourself, then you will be known, and you will understand that you are children of the living Father. But if you do not know yourselves, then you dwell in poverty, and you are poverty. Okay, and then I put on here page 143 because there's obviously a link to something in there. So let me see here if I wrote it down, the answer. Because it's just everything just kind of, yeah, there it goes. Okay. Jesus said, if the flesh came into being because of the Spirit, it is a marvel. But if the Spirit comes into being because of the body, it is a marvel of marvels. Yet I marvel at how this great wealth has come to dwell in this poverty. He's speaking of the same things there. And basically he says, if you don't know yourself, you're impoverished. And, that sounds like a really big, daunting thing, but he's not asking you to go into this, 9-week course about learning all your personality types. Know who you are. And I know that's my call in this world, is to help people, because since I was a very small child, I was given a specific birth father and a specific set of trials and a specific personality set. I've always known who I am. I've always known. Had my struggles like everybody else, but I have never doubted for a minute that I was the bomb, okay? And I know that sounds silly, but it's true. And you know what? In the scheme of things, that's who you are. You are a child of the Father, the prime creator, the great spirit, whatever you want to call him. And another thing I'm going to touch on in the miracles is there's something about who you are that it's not negotiable. It's not negatable. And once you know yourself, that's what he's talking about. You know yourself, you have wealth. And I really thought that was very profound. Let's see here what else we got. It says here, his disciples asked him and said to him, do you want us to fast? Well, and it goes on and he goes into And what diet should we eat, and what should we pray, and should we give to charity? Well, back, if you read through it, you can find all kinds of interesting things, but it comes back down here, and Jesus says to them, it skips several, little anecdotes before, it goes from like 6 to 14. And then Jesus says to them, if you fast, you will bring sin upon yourselves. If you pray, you will be condemned. And if you give to charity, you will harm your spirit. And reading all in between this, what he's talking about is talking about the things that we choose, the things that we do. And what he's saying here is that if you don't know who you are, it doesn't matter what you do. You can pray, you can fast, you can give everything away. But if you don't know inside of your heart who you are, it's not going to do you any good. You're going to be in poverty. That's just period. The biggest thing to this, and Naughty Beaver just said it this morning, is knowledge and being able to absorb wisdom that's directly downloaded to you. And that is really, really important. So, let's see here. I've just got lots of notes in here. I'm going to go over this pretty quickly. I have some more in-depth stuff out of the Miracles book today. Okay. Let's see here. Okay. Blessed is the one who came into being before coming into being. Now that I immediately said, that's something for me to figure out. What does that mean? And it's just, blessed is the one who is created before dying to himself and then becoming ascended. And that's that enlightenment that we're all working on, that we're all at different levels at, but we're awake, right? So that's what that is. And he's saying, blessed is the one who's in this state of being. And that's a pretty incredible thing. It sounds a little bit like a puzzle, but I knew that there was something in there. Another thing, too, and this does not give an answer, but I got something from it, and it was given to me specifically, so I wrote it in the sidelines in pencil. It says, if you become my disciples and listen to my sayings, then these stones will serve you. For there are 5 trees in paradise for you. They do not change, summer or winter, and their leaves never fall. Whoever knows them will not taste death. And I thought, 5 trees, and it just came to me. Perfect. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Love, truth, peace, joy, and hope. These are the 5 truths. Truths? Yeah, they are truths, but the 5 trees. And I believe that that's at least in part, if not entirely, what he was speaking about. As these 5 items, if you have them in your heart, first of all, love being the biggest one, and then the truth, which brings about peace and joy and great hope, then whoever knows these things will never taste of death. And that's a pretty amazing thing. Okay, let's see here. There's some other stuff too here that really caught my eye. I highlighted this extra, like extra. Okay, so that one's there. There's so much to this that I probably want to get back to it another time. I think I'm going to stop right there because my notes are getting, they're getting very, very intense right here. So I'm going to have to go back. I do have it marked, and I bought little sticky tabs, so I don't have to use these flimsy little papers anymore. There was something else. Blessed are those who are alone and chosen. It says, Jesus said, that's the first thing it says. Blessed are those who are alone and chosen, for you will find the kingdom. For you have come from it, and you will return there again. And that was one that was just really, because I know a lot of us are kind of alone. Some of us are in relationships, but the other person doesn't have ears to hear, eyes to see, either not at all or yet. And you just feel like you're alone. I feel like an island 95% of the time. So that was really important to me. I really, that was important. But I'm also been reading this. I kind of read them alongside, and I kind of just listen to the Spirit tell me which one to pick up and what to do. So I'm going to probably, let's see here. I'm going to start, it's called Judgment and the Authority Problem. And this has got some seriously significant stuff in it. And it's really important. And you know what I find in this book? This book right here, is the underlying theme of it is what you believe is everything. Because in your belief is what you allow to get into your consciousness and your awareness, and you are a creator. You are a creator, a co-creator with the Father, with the Source, with the Great Spirit, whatever name you want to give him, because he has no name. We can't even make him a name because it wouldn't work. So belief, and see, this is where I come into the picture, and I know that because I'm kind of like a big gullible goofball. I am belief. I embody it. It's the way I've been since I was very small and am to this day. I get giddy at going, riding on a carousel. I love Disneyland. I love fairy tales. I love magic. I love mystery, and I still believe that I have fairies in my little plot of forest here that's behind my house, and that's just how I am. I'm a believer, and belief is everything. And I will read this to you, and we're going to go over it a little bit, and then I'll give you a case in point of the last week and a half or so that I just kind of went through, and then at the end of it, of course, realized what was going on. If you judge the reality of others, you will be unable to avoid judging your own. So when you look at somebody else's circumstance, and see, I'm really, really bad at this too. I was raised in a really, really judgmental house. It was like a form of entertainment to judge people in my home and then judge each other. So this is a very big bent in me that I don't care for, and it's one that I have to wrestle against all the time. Okay. The choice to judge rather than to know is to cause the loss of peace. And this is a very big chapter. If you're feeling restless or weary and you've lost your peace, there's a way to find out what's going on. And it's a simple question you need to ask yourself. Judgment always involves rejection, which is absolutely true. What has been perceived and rejected or judged and found wanting remains in your mind because it has been perceived. See, that perception that you have is very important because it attaches itself to you through your belief. And then guess what? As a co-creator, you start miscreating. Don't even know you're doing it. It's because you don't know who you are. And what did it say in Thomas? See how this just keeps going around and wrapped? Know who you are. This is the biggest thing, is for you to know who you are. And the only way you can know that is by spending time with the Father. Let him tell you. Let him use people like me and Derek and Naughty Beaver and all the other influences in your life and these books tell you who you are. Another thing that is about this too is it's an illusion that you suffer from because you believe that when you judge, it doesn't have any effect. And because you're a creator, it absolutely does have an effect. You have no idea of the tremendous release and deep peace that comes from meeting yourself and your brothers totally without judgment. And that is very true. I don't know where you're at in your journey, but I know that this happened to me before I met Derek, before any of this awakening happened, through a book that I read by Ted Decker. It's called The Forgotten Way. And if you're struggling with this awakening, or you feel like there's not a good enough foundation for you to stand on, I highly recommend that you read it, especially if you are an inundated Christian who's been indoctrinated. It will really help to unravel some of that stuff in a very gentle way. I don't even look at the book anymore. I spent 2 years reading it every day without fail. But I've grown to a point where that's not what journey I'm on, but I highly recommend that you read it because it really does help. And I remember the peace that I found when I just let go of that, because that starts with you taking the judgment off yourself, and then you just naturally, don't look at others that way. All uncertainty comes from the belief. See, that's the key word right there. The belief that you're under the coercion of judgment. And see, that whole sentence, if you take everything out of there, you can take all the words out except for the word belief, because that's the key. What you believe is what is. And I know that it doesn't manifest itself in a tangible way where we can say, yes, I want to be, tall, strong, and beautiful and be in love with the most wonderful person in the world, and bam, it doesn't happen. That's not what it's talking about. It's something much deeper than that. But it's true. Belief is the key. It's everything. Nothing that you have refused to accept can be brought into awareness. This was big for me, and I've been really trying to practice that. And you know what? I spent this last week accepting some things and judging myself, not even aware I was doing it. And I had a miserable week. I was stuck in a rut that I had no idea what was happening. I started picking up the clothes and putting them back on. I started living in the world a little bit, and I didn't even know I was doing it because it started with me judging myself. And nothing that you have refused to accept. So the thing is this book, the Miracles book, talks about refusing to believe in things that aren't real and aren't true. The only things that are true and real are the things that are under the canopy of love. Anything else, it's an illusion. It's not real. And I know that sounds like deluded talk, doesn't it? But it's not. It's the truth. It truly is not real. Crippling anxiety most of my life. It's gone because guess what? I don't believe in fear anymore. Fear isn't real. It's an illusion. And I am learning, being taught how to unwind those twines that are in me that have gotten me trapped in that mindset and not understanding the truth, which I think that's the next video. I'm going to go backwards in this book because it has some really good information on fear, and I know a lot of people suffer from that. So anyway, so belief, belief, belief. When you feel tired, this is amazing. I just read this morning because I've been really tired, really tired. When you feel tired, it's because you have judged yourself as capable of being tired. Now think of that. You've judged yourself as capable of being tired. Immediately my mind says, what do you mean capable? So that means really I'm not capable of being tired? Oh, I want to know more about that. When you laugh at someone, it is because you have judged him as unworthy. And when you laugh at yourself, you must laugh at others, if only because you cannot tolerate the idea of being more unworthy than they are. Because it is essentially disheartening. And that's also what I felt. I've been tired and disheartened. It is curious that an ability so debilitating would be so deeply cherished by the human race. Yet, if you wish to be the author of reality, you will insist on holding on to no judgment. Zero. None. I think, is that where I stopped? I think it might have been. I don't remember. No, one more. Okay. So, once again, judgment, belief. I know that Derek talks about the keys to the kingdom being repentance and forgiveness is part of that. That's pretty much all forgiveness is you never hold anything against anyone. Even things as simple as that annoying dog down the street that's yapping at 3 o'clock in the morning and waking you up, and you wake up all frustrated because you got to get up in the morning and now you're going to be tired. That thought process right there creates the whole event the way that it is. You're going to wake up tired, you're going to be cranky because you judged that animal, and you judged yourself, and you judged the day coming up. And this is what we do. And it's time to unlearn that. For me too. And then I'm going to end it here because this is such a profound statement. Once again, this belief can exist only to the extent that you believe in the efficacy of the judgment. Once again, where's that big B word in there? Why do you think that the name of my channel is I Believe? Because belief is it. It's huge. It's huge. It's the cornerstone, basically, of everything, because you are a creator, and you'll either miscreate or you'll create good and wonderful things with your father and your siblings. You're going to create one way or another, though. You cannot not create. Your thoughts, the things that you say, everything that you do creates something. So that's why Derek is always saying, take every thought captive. And he means every thought. And I've been trying really hard to fine-tune that, even just the littlest ones. Once you start doing it, you know immediately where they came from. Because if it isn't love, it came from you know who. It did not come from you or the Father. God offers only mercy. Your words should reflect only mercy, because that is what you have received, and that is what you should give. And it's just this whole process. Belief and carrying that out. I don't know, this morning, like I said, I'm still a little out of sorts. I'm much better today than I was because I realized that I was miscreating all kinds of improper thoughts and judgments, and I had a really rough week. So I still feel a little off kilter. I almost feel like this message. I'm going to watch it back because it just feels like it has a lot of holes in it to me. But maybe it doesn't. I don't know. The biggest thing is belief. That's what screams out at me there. And I was believing things through so many different reasons of information that I had gotten in contact with. And some people know about my circumstances. Some people don't. Very few actually do. And my circumstances are very difficult to keep out of the world, which I know everybody does. I'm not saying that mine are any worse than yours. It's just particularly more difficult for me in this circumstance. And so I just have to keep taking it back off and taking it back off. Super easy for me to pick it back up because I have all these kind of pressures around me all the time. And I know we all do in different ways. But anyways, I think that's kind of it. I think the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to go back and read up a little bit on fear, because fear is a big one. And the coolest thing about it is the miracles. I could have written that book because I have always believed every word that's in it. Everything that it says in there, my heart says, that's it. That's it every time. So I highly recommend that you pick it up and read it. It will liberate you. It will free you. It will be an assistant in that freedom. Belief, your belief, what you believe is key. So start really digging into what's true. And when it resonates with you, you hold on to it for dear life and don't do anything else. So I want to take this opportunity to tell you I love you and I thank you. And real quick note on the Global Witness social site. Today I'm going to get on there at some point. I'm going to open up a group called Gathering Alberta, because I know that part of my purpose is to gather, and I have some ties to Aboriginal people, being one eighth Lakota, and so I'm kind of researching into that. Nothing's happened yet, but I know I'm supposed to press into the Indigenous people in this area, and so I'm going to be setting up a group. And the idea behind it is that we can connect in case, I mean, YouTube just went down it was brief, but it went down, right? The internet could go down. We could have all kinds of troubles, and then how are we going to contact each other? And I feel really pressed to get some hard copy information on each other, so that if that does happen, or in the event that something comes to pass and I know that we're supposed to gather, that we can do that here in Alberta. And we don't have to go anywhere else, because you know what? It's not a magic place. It's not a magic thing. It's the Father's going to watch after his children. He will, period. And I'm looking at, this is the longest video I think I've ever made. Is it 28? Okay. I don't know why it says 31. But anyways, I don't know if I've done 20 minutes or if I've done 31. That's how techie I am. But anyways, I'm still so new to this. I feel like such a big goofball. I really do. I really thank you for bearing with me. And I hope that this spoke something to you. I'm going to watch it back before I post it. I don't usually do that, but today I feel really off. After that note, I love you, and I'm just relieved for the Father and for all the information from everybody in our family. I just can't say it enough, and I love you guys so much, and I hope you have a really great day, and I hope this blessed somebody. So I will talk to you soon. Okay, bye.